Hey guys, and welcome to this GCSE Maths Fractional and Negative Indices revision video. So this is mainly aimed at Excel, but it's applicable to all exam boards, right? So this is a topic which causes issues for foundation and higher tier students alike. But hopefully, if you find it tricky after this video, it will seem much easier. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So the first few questions, I'm not going to particularly work through all these questions because there is nearly 30 of them. In fact, there's more than 30, so we'll be here quite a while, but I'll definitely pick, easily around 10 of these questions just to work through. So let's take a look. Now remember, if you've got a minus power, we treat that as the reciprocal. So let's work through this question 1 here. So 3 to the minus 1. Well, that's the same as doing 1 over 3, and then we take the negative power and we make it positive. So that'd be 3 to the 1. And then you evaluate that. So what is 3 to the 1? Well, that's just 3, right? 3 squared, that'd be 3 times 3, for example. But because it's only 1, we just get 3. So our final answer is just 1 over 3, which would be 0.3333 recurrent, right? So it's 1 over 3. Simply, that's all it would be. For example, if it were 3 to the minus 2, that would have been 1 over 3, but make the power positive. So 1 over 3 squared. Work out what 3 squared is, so that's 9. And then you put your 1 back on top. Okay? Because it's just 3 to the minus 1, just 1 over 3. Same is applicable here, and don't be put off by the fact that it's a fraction. Sometimes you'll find that these fractions are actually easier. So this is 4 over 5 to the minus 1. Now if it's to the minus 1, again, the same rule applies. This is the same as 1 over 4 over 5. And here, when you've got a fractionalized, so this is 1 divided by 4 over 5, we'll just use our general rules of fractions here. So that's 1 times 5 over 4. Underneath that 1 there's a 1. So 1 times 5 would be 5. 1 times 4 will give us 4. So our final answer is actually just 5 over 4. So this step I've done here is a little bit overkill. You don't need it. But that's kind of why it works. So if you see this, so it's 4 over 5 to the minus 1. If you spot the trick, just literally flip that fraction. So the final answer is just 5 over 4. Okay, 5 to the minus 1. Again, it'll just simply be 1 over 5. Change your power to positive, so it's 1 over 5 to the 1. 5 to the 1 is 5. So our final answer will just be 1 over 5. And again, just dead quick. Notice I mentioned this word at the very beginning, the reciprocal. So that's just the idea of turning the fraction over. So if you've got 3, just there on its own, so the number 3, the reciprocal of 3 is done by flipping that fraction. Now you might be asking me what a fraction, because it's just literally 3 on its own. But remember, for any number that we've got here, we always kind of have it as a fraction. We're mathematicians, we're just lazy. We don't write it. But there's underneath that there's actually a 1. So the reciprocal of 3, so the reciprocal is actually just a third, just like we had in part A here. On question 1. Okay, so that's the first 4 questions done. Hopefully they're nice and easy. The next few questions will start getting a bit trickier, so let's take a look at them. So these ones are taking a look at fractional powers, and most particularly this power of a half. So this is notorious for causing issues. Getting answers such as 50 for this question 5, that's a very common one, 50. So no, you don't just divide by 2, be very, very careful. The way you do these is by considering that power. So 100 to the power of a half. This half is very important. And the reason for that is because we rewrite this as the square root of 100. And the reason for that is because this is what we call the square root, right? The square root. And again, we're mathematicians, we're lazy, we don't bother writing it. But above this square root, there's a little 2 here in the corner. And that's telling us what root we take. So because we take the second root of 100, that's just the square root. And the reason there's a little 2 there is because of this bottom number of the power. So because that's 2, we take the second root. If that was 1 over 3, we'd be taking the cube root, for example, okay, which we'll see just on the next bunch of questions. So just take the square root here now. This is nice and easy. So the square root of 100, which is just simply 10. So my final answer is just 10. So what you'll actually find is anything to the power of half is just an exercise on square rooting, basically. So 64 power of half, that just means take the square root of 64, okay, which would just give us, what would that give us? That gives us 8. I need to throw it myself then. So that gives us 8, right? 49 to the half, same again. We've got a square root 49, which just gives us 7, okay? 81 to the half, I will leave that for you guys to have a go at. Question 9, a little bit trickier because this is actually 36 to the minus half. So that makes it a little bit trickier because it's a minus power. But don't be put off by it. What we're doing now is we are putting together the first bunch of questions we did and now this bunch. So whenever you see a minus, deal with the minus first. So remember, we see a minus, we do the reciprocal. So this is now 1 over 36. Remember, the negative power becomes positive. So this is 1 over 36 to the power of a half. Here now, you do the same that we did before. So 36 to the half, well that's just the same as 1 over the square root of 36. And what is the square root of 36? Well that just simply gives us 6, right? So 1 over the square root of 36 is just 1 over 6. And you can actually double check this if you really want to put this onto your calculator. If you do 36 to the power of minus 0.5, so minus a half, you should get 1 over 6 on your calculator. Or it'll give you the decimal equivalent, but it will give you the right answer. So if you even want to double check your answers, put them in a calculator, guys. You'll get the correct answer there. Okay? So don't be put off by the minus. The same rules just apply. You just put them together. Okay? So that's that bunch of questions done. Let's take a look at the next few. So the next few now involve powers of 1 over 3. So just like I was mentioning, if you've got a half, so a to the half, for example, that's the square root of a. If you've got a to the 1 over 3, that would just be the cube root of a. Okay, so do not be put off by how this fraction changes. The rules are the exact same, right? So 64 to the 1 over 3, well that's just the same as doing the cube root of 64. So what you like to find is once you get into a bit of a rhythm with these, they're actually really repetitive, quite annoying, but they're very quick once you get used to them. So the cube root of 64, so what number do I times by itself 3 times? It's going to be 64. I'll just simply be 4, right? So my final answer is 4. A common issue I see here when finding cube roots, especially by foundation students more than higher, is struggling to actually figure out what this value is. There isn't really a magic trick, but for GCSE Maths, a good rule of thumb I'd say is consider 1 cubed through to 5 cubed. They never typically give you one bigger than 5 cubed. So if you do 1 cubed to 5 cubed, it's got to be between here. So for example, 1 cubed, 1. 2 cubed would be 8, for example. 3 cubed, so on and so on, right? Where you'll see 4 cubed is 64. Okay, so that, do up to 5 cubed. If it's not in there, I'd be amazed. I've never really seen that on the foundation, but just, you know, keep it in mind. So 8 to the power of a third. Again, just find the cube root of 8, which we've already done because we did it here. I've just crossed out the 3. That's a 3, which means that's 2 there. Okay. Finally, I'll leave this one for you guys to have a go at. Question 12, just a bit of practice. Question 13, 125 to the power of a third. Again, just find the cube root. So the cube root of 125. Now this one particularly causes a lot of issues. The cube root of 125, remember, it's got to be between 1 and 5. Well, I've got 4 cubed is 64. So my answer really has to be bigger than 4. It can't be less than that, right? Because these numbers get smaller. So the only one that leaves me with is 5 cubed, which is 125. Okay? So 5 cubed is 125, so the cube root of 125 would just give us 5. And then again, here, question 14, the exact same rules apply. So 64 power of minus a third. We've got to apply what we did in the very first set of questions, so deal with the minus power. So that's the same as doing the reciprocal, so 1 over 64. Remember, what do we do with the power? We make it positive, so that's the same as 1 over 3. 64 to the 1 over 3, we did right at the beginning, that's 4, right? So all you're doing is evaluating the denominator, the bottom of the fraction. So 64 to the 1 over 3, that's 4, so my final answer is a quarter. So if you put that on your calculator, you'll get 0.25, okay? And just again, just a bit of a note, you can give your answer as 1 over 4 or 0.25. Again, both are absolutely fine. So that's that set done. Let's have a look at the next sheet. So here now we have, again, another combination of rules. This time, we have to be careful, because our fraction, for example, isn't just a to the third. For example, it's a to the 2 over 3. So how does this change the between going from the cube root of a to this answer here? What changes? Well, all that actually changes is you always do the denominator first, so like we did here. You take the cube root, so that's the exact same. We take the cube root of a. But we do something after to this cube root. And what we do after is we're told by the numerator. So because it's 2 over 3, we square this then. We raise that to a power of 2. If that was 4, so 4 over 3, we'd raise that to the power of 4. If it was 10 over 3, we'd take the cube root of a and then raise it to the power of 10. Okay? So don't be put off by this 2 here. And again, some of these mix with minuses. So don't be put off by that either. So let's try to tackle a few of these. These are some of the tricky ones now. So these are definitely some of the ones that cause higher tier students more issues. So let's take a look together. So 64 to the minus 2 over 3. First, let's deal with the negative part. So remember, negative, we've got a reciprocal. So this would be 1 over 64 to the 2 over 3. Okay, so we make the power positive. Here now, we've got to evaluate 64 to the 2 over 3. So remember, what do we do first? We look at the bottom of the fraction. So because it's 3, that's what root we take. So we take the cube root of 64. And then, because the top number isn't just 1, we have to raise it to whatever that power is. So because the top number is 2, we square whatever this cube root of 64 is. So the cube root of 64, so what number do I times by itself? 3 times to give me 64. That's just 4, right? So this is just 4. And then we raise it to 2. So square 4, so 4 times 4, we just get 16. But remember, just be slightly careful. My answer isn't just 16, because the 64 to the 2 over 3 is the denominator. So my actual answer is 1 over 16. So just be very careful for that. I see, again, a common mistake here. Students will just give the answer 16. Be very, very careful, okay? So 1 over 16. Same again here. 125 to the 2 over 3. So what do? We look at the bottom of the fraction. It's a 3. So we find the cube root. 125, because that's what we're cube rooting of. And then we raise it to whatever that top number is. So my top of my fraction, the numerator is a 2, so we square that expression. The cube root of 125, if you remember just a couple of minutes ago, we actually worked that out. That was 5. So this is just 5 raised to the power of 2, which is just 5 squared, which is 5 times 5, giving us 25. Okay. So in that case, it will just be the 25. If it's a minus, it usually is always just 1 over. Okay. Let's take a look here now. So what we'll do is we'll just do this minus here. So 8 to the minus 2 over 3. So again, deal with the minus first. So this will be, again, the reciprocal, so it's 1 over. The same number here, but make the power positive. So 8 to the 2 over 3. And now all you've got to do is evaluate this. So 8 to the 2 over 3. What would that give us? Take the cube root of this number here. And then raise it to whatever that top number is. So if it's 2, we take the cube root of 8, which is 2, and then we square it. That's equal to 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, which gives us 4. So, but because it's 1 over this, our answer will be 1 over 4. Okay, which will give us 0.25. If you want to write that in a decimal equivalent. So that's that bunch of questions done. Let's just take a look at the very last page here, because these are the main ones that I kind of like to look at. These are definitely the trickiest ones you're going to get on your exams. If you're on foundation, you're not really going to get these. This is more just applicable to higher, but these still do cause a lot of problems for higher tier students. So I will definitely walk through all 4 of these ones here. Now what you've actually got is just basically combining everything. You've got a fraction, you've got a minus power, it's a fraction of a power, and it's got a numerator that's bigger than 1. Okay, so basically we're doing everything all at once now. But don't be scared. Don't worry about it. It's just as easy as the previous ones. With it being a minus power, again, this is almost like bid maths. Always deal with the minus first. You don't have to, but I think it's a lot easier for students if you can get that minus out of the way. So this is the reciprocal. Do you remember what we said before about the reciprocal? This is the same as 1 over 64 over 125. If you perform this division here, this fraction division, what we actually obtain is just flipping the fraction. So this now becomes 125 over 64. Remember, what do we do to the power? If it's minus and we're dealing with the minus, it becomes positive. So this is 125 over 125 divided by 64, power of 2 over 3. Now at this stage, this is much easier now to work with than this, because we've got rid of that minus. Same again here, we've got to deal with this fraction now. Now remember, if you've got a fraction, like we have here, and it's raised to a power, so for example, if I had 1 over 4, and I squared it, what we do here is we can square the top number, and we can square the bottom number. So that's just the same as 1 squared over 4 squared, okay? Which will give you 1 over 16. The same applies here, even though it's a fraction, the same rule actually applies. So this is actually just 125 to the 2 over 3 divided by 64 to the 2 over 3. That's one way that that might help you to see it. The other way you can actually see this is just doing the same rule that we just did for the previous ones, but to top and then bottom, which is basically what I've just written here. So demonstrating this now, 125 to the 2 over 3, well, find the cube root of 125. In fact, let's write that bracket there. Find the cube root of 125 and then square it. So yeah, I didn't mean my bracket, I just kind of drew it a little bit bad. So that's the top one done. Do the same to the bottom now. So it'd be 64. We take the cube root because the bottom number is 3 again, and then we square that expression. Okay. So this looks dead messy, but this is the main part I'm working on now. So the cube root of 125, that's 5, and we square it. So we do it over here. The top number, that's 5 squared, which is 25, divided by the cube root of 64, which is 4. So that's divided by 4 squared, which gives us 25 over 16. Okay, 25 over 16. And then that is your final answer. So quite a lot going on there, and it probably looks quite messy, but it's very structured. Just take it step by step. So let's do the exact same now with the next one. So this is 25 over 16 to the minus 3 over 2. So the first thing I need to deal with, like we always do, is deal with that negative. So to get rid of that negative, we flip this. That's going to be 16 over 25 to the 3 over 2. Now I won't bother writing this out again, just like I did here, but that rule applies, and if you find it easier to do it like that, just write this out. So, just like we did here, we're going to find the square root of this number, and then we're going to cube it. So we look at the bottom number, that's what root we take. So I won't bother writing the 2, but that's what there is, of 16, and then we cube it. Same again here, find the square root of 25, and then you cube it. So what would that give us? So if I do it over here, just so we've got room, well the cube root of 16 is 4, so that's 4 cubed, divided by the square root of 25, which is 5. So that's 5, and then we cube it, so 5 cubed. So 4 cubed, that's 4 times 4, which is 16, times it by 4 again, gives us 64. And then the 5 cubed would be 125. Now with enough practice, you'll start just seeing these dead quick. So 4 cubed, you'll instantly put in 64, for example. But that's your final answer. So 64 divided by 125. So if you haven't already, pause the video, have a go at 22 and 23, see if you can get the same answer as what we're going to get now when we walk through it together. So let's do these together. So I've got 8 over 27 to the minus 2 over 3. To the minus 2 over 3. Which should just be the same as flipping this fraction and making the power positive. So that's going to be 27 over 8 to the 2 over 3. Okay. Here now, we look at the bottom number. That's what root we take. So we're going to take the cube root of 27, and then we square it. Do the same to the bottom number. Take the cube root of 8, and then we square it. And now, just to get your answer, all you've got to do is this. Now, these questions will be on your non-calculator exam. So do not ever rely on your calculator for these kind of questions if you're doing them as homework or anything like that. You won't have them in your exam, so treat it the same if you want the best practice. So the cube root of 27, that'll be 3, and then we square it. Let's do the bottom. Cube root of 8 is 2, and then we square it. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. So my final answer is 9 over 4. Okay. So I know it looks like there's a lot of maths going on here, but seriously guys, once you've done a few of these, you'll find them quite easy. So hopefully you got 9 over 4. And if we work through the last one together, we've got 9 over 4 to the minus 3 over 2. So that's just the exact same as 4 over 9. Turn the power from negative to positive. Okay, to the 3 over 2. We look at the bottom number, that tells us what root we are. So because the bottom number is 2, we're going to be taking the square root. And basically they don't give you that as a clue, but you should be able to spot this. If your numbers are cube numbers like 8 and 27, we're going to be taking the cube root. If our numbers are square numbers like 9 and 4, we're going to be taking the square root. So we take the square root of 4, and then we square that. We cube that answer. Do the same for the denominator. Take the square root, and then we cube that. The square root of 4 is 2, so we do 2 cubed divided by square root of 9, which is 3, and then cube that. So 2 cubed is 8, and then 3 cubed is 27. Okay, so hopefully you got 8 over 27 there. Okay. So that brings me to the end of this video, guys. I'm not going to walk through any more because I'm basically just focusing on the very essentials of this topic. So I hope that's helped. Quite a lot of different things going on in that video. If there's anything that's unclear or you spotted any mistakes, please let me know down in the comments and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Cheers, guys.